All right, everybody, it's the ID84 Show live here on Facebook Live. And if you listen to recorded on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, and all that good stuff, episode 141 live from quarantine for week 16 or so at this point. It could be forever at this point. I just got used to it. As always, to my left is Adam DeMallet. And also to my lower left, we have Ryan Glover. And Ryan, would you like to introduce our guest tonight?
Definitely. With over a year in adult, petite stunner Alex Cole has made an indelible mark on the industry with her all-natural beauty, captivating green eyes, jet black hair, and incredible scenes that have left her fans breathless. Her obsession with sex and being good at it when she was younger by reading books, magazines, dirty comics, and hentai has paid off.
And she's
That's
live.
an intro, petite.
That's great intro. How are you going to beat that? Live from Las Vegas, right? Is that where you are right now, Las Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Vegas. That was great. Thank you for the intro. I'll try to live up to it.
Like that petite stunner.
Done enough already.
There you go. I think you're doing some yoga moves there. You're just getting kind of into the zone.
Oh, I'm just stretching.
There you go. You should always stretch before you do anything. That's what I always say.
Well, yeah, you should always stretch, yeah.
How was it out
gotta
there?
Be limber.
Yeah. How was it out there in Las Vegas? About 1,000 degrees in July?
It's pretty fucking hot, man. It's my least favorite time of year.
They say it's a dry heat, though, right? You know, that's what they always say.
Yes, it is. Yeah. No, I would definitely take being here now over being in Florida right now, because, like, well, a few reasons.
Nobody wants to be. Nobody wants to be in Florida.
No one wants to be in Florida for other reasons as well.
The humidity. I die. It makes me all oily, and I break out, and I hate it. I just am miserable the entire time I'm in humid areas. I need the dryness.
Just melt like a candle, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like one of our listeners right now watching, Brian, who is went to UNLV. He spent a lot of time in Las Vegas. He's living in SoCal right now, but big fan of the show, so he can relate to your Las Vegas morals, if you will. You know how things go down there in Sin City.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you listen to? Do you watch the Morning Blend at all? I think it's on Fox out there or something. It's a morning show on. With Sean Tempesta is the host, and he's also on the Magic Station 94.5, I believe, on middays. And the only reason I bring him up is because he's a former Revere High School alumni with me. We both graduated high school the same year, and that's why I know if everyone knows as well as we do out here in Massachusetts how famous he possibly is in Vegas. I just need to know some accreditation for this one.
I'm useless for this. I don't watch a whole lot of things or listen to a whole lot of things. Like I'm mostly like in my own space in my own head, and I don't have like cable or anything.
I think his demographic is middle-aged housewives who are home all day, so I don't think he quite fit that bracket. So I don't think you'd be too upset. I think if you were home with like 5 kids and stuff and weren't listening to Magic, I think you'd probably be a little upset for that one. But out of curiosity, you passed the test. You know, it's not like he's on like It's not like he's on like a Spice Channel or anything of that nature, or hip hop, R&B hits and stuff like that. So,
I listen to all kinds of stuff. I just don't know. Lately, I've been more of a Pandora person than a radio person. I hate to say it. I'm sorry.
I think that's the way everyone's going these days. I don't think people listen too much of terrestrial radio. Only for the fact that
Pandora? I don't know anybody listen. Spotify? I feel like Pandora is like, I haven't heard anybody use Pandora in like a long time.
I like the variety. I like the variety on Pandora. I feel like it suggests more things I've never heard before, which I super like. Because Spotify, I did Spotify, but I just was listening to the same songs over and over, and I wasn't like growing. So I'm enjoying Pandora, where it's like giving me new stuff. You know?
Yeah, like Spotify's like what you want. Like Pandora's more like, hey, open the box.
More
like
what you need, right? It's what you want.
If I were like DJing a party or something, I would want Spotify. But if I'm like in my car driving to and from shoots, then I want Pandora so that it's always fresh.
Me and Adam, we listen to a lot of James Taylor on Pandora all day long at the office we work at. It seems to be the number one hit. And I bet if you ask us, we could name every James Taylor song he ever performed. But we do understand that the Pandora does go over and over again with the same songs, because we probably hear the same James Taylor song at least twice a day, right?
I am getting very familiar with that catalog, my friend. I am.
Don't get me wrong.
It's killing me.
If you
it's
celebrate,
killing me, although
Well, if you celebrate the catalog, it's not a bad thing. Unfortunately, we're not quite the demographic for James Taylor. So,
No, we're not.
there you go. But who am I to judge, right?
Who are we?
Now, Alex, have you always been in Vegas? Have you ever lived anywhere else, or if this has been your homestead for a while?
Vegas is home, born and raised, and I've never lived anywhere else. Maybe in the future, but I don't know. Like I bought my house here a few years ago, so I'm pretty rooted now.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Did you see those guys that flipping show that's on A&E with the guy who's always yelling at his wife that takes place in Vegas? You ever come across that guy? I don't even know what it's called. But
No, I have heard about that, but I've never crossed paths.
Yeah, I heard he's a dick. How about the pawn shop? Have you gone to the pawn shop and checked that out?
No, I didn't go to the pawn shop. Like I said, I'm super not pop culture literate. Yeah.
And and what percentage of the time do you spend on the strip? Because my buddy who lives in Vegas says he barely ever goes to the strip. It's like kind of like when someone's in town, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I have family or friends or anything visiting and they want to go, then I'll go. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm a homebody usually with like stuff going on lately, but like I like to go out dancing to the different clubs like Excess and stuff like that are fun. And I like to go by myself. That's the only time that I'll go to the strip really is if I want to go to a club.
Yeah.
On the strip. Or if I want to go see a show. I've seen a lot of the shows though. So I'm just kind of like waiting to see if there's something else I want to see now. Cause I've seen a few, like I've seen Ka 3 times. I've seen a bunch of them. And so now I'm just looking for the more obscure ones. But
did you catch the Britney show when it was out there many moons ago?
I did. Actually, my ex worked on it.
Okay.
He did theater automation, so he worked on a bunch of the shows. And he said there was a part in the show we had to go because he said I had to see this one part that could kill her if they did it just a little wrong, where she swings out to the audience and she swings back and lands on the tree branch.
I heard about
that. Was like the hardest part of the show to automate because she always like in when they were figuring it out, there were way too many close calls of like swinging directly into the tree branch instead of on it. So they tried to get that out of the show and that didn't fly. So they had to just keep working to make it safe. So
that's what you want to hear, the close calls, right?
There's more close calls than you'd think with theater shows like that.
Now, in your profession, are there close calls? I mean, of any nature, because there could be anything could happen. A light falls from the ceiling. A miscue of some sort. You know what I mean? Have you ever encountered any missed calls that could be potentially dangerous at any sort of time?
Totally. I've gotten a little hurt on set before, and like I've seen other people get hurt on set. It just happens. Like when you're dealing with a lot of stuff and you're trying to move fast. Like I've seen lights not be tightened correctly and fall and hit a PA on the head. I also PA and do camera, so I'm all over the place. But there's a lot of opportunities to get hurt. So it's relatively safe for the amount of danger you could be in.
Is most of your work in California? Because it's kind of a hop, skip, and a quick jump away. Because California is like the mecca of the adult industry. Or is most of your work based out of Vegas?
More of it is moving to Vegas because California is a little bit regulated. So
that's very true.
The hubs for porn right now are Florida, Vegas, and LA. And then there's like Northern California, people shoot there, and Portland, people shoot there. But mainly it's the three. And I'm pretty equally split between Vegas and LA right now. And then when stuff's not going on, Florida, I like to go to Florida for 2 weeks, shoot for 2 weeks, and then come home. And I'm usually super busy when I'm there, so that's nice.
I'm always fascinated by people in the adult industry because I'm like, how does, you say, you're a homebody, and it's like, how does that affect your personal life? And you go out and meet people, like in dating, like are guys intimidated? Are guys like, oh yeah, like I'm sure you must get like a slew of assholes who just assume like you're just an object because of what you do.
I'm relatively like safe because I've never really dated. I've been very I've kind of been in a relationship since I was 18, so I've just gone from one to the other. I'm a serial super long relationship dater. So I had a 5 year, I had a 1 year, I had a 2.5 0.2 year, and then I'm in the middle of a 2.5 year right now. So
Okay.
Like, does that like affect, like when you come home, and I'm just so fascinated, like I understand like work is work and you come home, but like when it comes time to be intimate with the person you care about, are you like, my God, I just spent like most of the day like doing this sex scene, like I'm just not in the mood, like I'm sore, like is it like does it like spill over, like is it, you know, like does it like kind of take the fun out of it from your personal life because it's part of your job, you know?
I wouldn't say that. I would say there are unique challenges. I'm dating someone in the industry right now, so it's extra easy, but I've dated people out of the industry and in the industry, and there's not a whole lot. I haven't encountered a whole lot of difference personally, but it's really easy right now because my current partner, Michael Masters, has been filming for like 7 or 8 years, and he's in over 2,000 videos, and he works a lot and I work a lot. So there's definitely times that he's maybe burned out or I'm maybe burned out, but it doesn't really hurt anything. It's more of a, hey, do you want to play video games and like watch a movie and hang out? Do you want to go swimming? Like, or like talk about a book we're reading or something? And then sometimes I'll come home from a shoot and I'll be like, I had a really good day. Let's continue the good day, you know? Or sometimes I'll be like, I didn't get to come at all on set today. Help. Help me. And so that's always fun. So
I'm sure like
I'm
sure like actual actors too, like in Hollywood and in movies, like there's some people you have chemistry with when you're having sex with them and some people you don't. Like sometimes bodies just don't fit well. It's not that they're out of shape, it just doesn't mesh. Like no, it's true though. I mean, have you ever been like like I'm sure
definitely some that don't fit well.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure like how do you break the ice like that? You know, like other times too where like you meet somebody and you're like, okay, you're about to do a scene. Is there any like sort of uncomfort level where it's like, do you guys get like a drink the day before and like talk, like, or just go like, hey, let's fuck? Like, I mean, is it like, how does it work? Like, I'm just fascinated.
I think I'm kind of just an odd bird because I was super sexually repressed when I was younger. Even though I did read and study a lot, I didn't do anything until I was 21.
Were you private school girl?
I was pretty like, and then as soon as I started having sex at 21, I was like, come to me, like, give me everything. So my first partner was pretty, my first partner was pretty asexual, but he wanted me to be able to explore and live my life. And so we were open, and I just didn't want any other partners who were like an emotional partner. I just wanted to experiment with like sex. So I went on ashleymadison.com and met a shit ton of guys, not a shit ton, 9. I met 9 guys and had one night stands.
Nice.
And it was always like, hey, don't call me after this. This is just one time, no more times. Like, and guys are bad at that, by the way.
Oh yeah, they absolutely were. We were talking about that at work today about that website, and Adam made a good point and said about 85% of them are just fake bots. So you're the 15% that's
for women. For women, definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of messages on there, which was very flattering. But I mean, meeting somebody and going, okay, we're gonna have sex tonight.
Yeah.
You know, unless you fuck this up, we're gonna have sex. It's kind of like that, because I go to set and I'm like, hi, I've totally looked at your dick online and I've watched your old scenes, and you know, if you don't fuck up royally, we're gonna have sex today. Like,
me and Adam know a guy who could fuck that up really easily, and we've seen him.
Yep, we do.
And that's the nice thing is like I'm in complete control of myself and like whether or not, you know, I'm gonna do something. So like if I get to set and somebody's like super awful or something, I don't have to shoot. I can leave. So no, I haven't had to do that, but
well, you know, because you're having sex with people though, is it like the possibility, like, you know, of like developing feelings? Has that ever happened for you, like, you know, on camera? Like,
actually not really. It's more of like, the best way I can describe it is it's like having buddies that I play basketball with, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna do a really fun physical activity today, and like we're gonna high five after, and then I do a we did it dance after a lot of my scenes where I turn on a camera and we dance around and we say we did it and like all kinds of cute stuff. So like it's more like a friend thing. And then there are people that maybe I don't have like incredible sexual chemistry with, but that's more of a like, hey, this isn't a date. Like we're here to make a really cool movie and we're gonna do some cool shit. And like, if you need any help, I'm here for you, bro. Like, you know. So, but most I've been super lucky that I've had almost no bad experiences and I've had a really great time. I've shot about 150 scenes now. So it's a pretty good run.
Nice.
Your favorite position?
You've only been like in the industry over a year, like a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
That's it? Really? Yeah.
Well, we had to stop with COVID because of the danger. And so I've technically been in for a year and about 2 months.
Okay.
You know, for shooting time. And I'm just now starting to shoot again. I've done 2 scenes back and I have 1 tomorrow.
So one of our biggest fans of this show, Alex Wallace, is also a big fan of you. He wanted us to say hi. He's watching on live stream right now, and he's actually very, very excited. But Adam, you had a question real quick that I think I cut off. Do you want to ask?
It's okay. I know. I was wondering, like, do you have like a favorite position and like favorite and least favorite?
Yeah, totally. I would say, this is Facebook, but I'm wearing shorts. So can I just, I don't know what it's called.
They'll just.
So it's more like, this would be the favorite position.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this would be the least favorite.
Looks like it's a lot of work.
Thing.
Yeah.
I hate leg day.
When I played football, I didn't like doing any of those leg squats anyway. That was very painful, you know?
It's harder when you have a penis inside you, promise.
Yeah, I never had to deal with that situation. Probably won't either.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you girls can fake your day. Like, us guys can't. Like, if things aren't working down there and we're not turned on, it's not happening. Like, you girls just have to are dry and have to apply like lubricant, and you can fake it. Like, guys, nothing's working.
That's partly true, because if you're not aroused, it's a lot easier for a girl to tear.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because even with lube, it's about the stretching. So when you're aroused, your vagina kind of opens up, and when you're not, it kind of squeezes shut, because it's like, oh, we don't
trap door.
It's like
track.
You can actually I like to masturbate before every scene, because it gets me like in the right headspace.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is a lot of, I hate lube, so it's a lot of natural lubricant.
It's like the space shuttle docking with the space station. Everything has to work right in order to work. Otherwise, the space station and the space shuttle don't connect, you know, and then crash.
You know, you can get around a lot of things, but it does help to be turned on. And a lot of the time, one part of it is I actually really enjoy performing, and I really enjoy sex, and I really enjoy turning people on and making people feel good. And so the first thing I do when my scene partner gets to set, because usually the girl gets there an hour or 2 before and does makeup, or Arty has her makeup done and does photos, and like pretty girls is what we call them. And so when the guy arrives, I usually I go up, I introduce myself, I'm like, hey, like, we're gonna be fucking today, how are you? And like, let's talk about what you like, what you don't like.
That's something us 3 don't want to hear when we go to work, like, because we look around, you know what I mean? But so do you get to read the script prior, or is it just like, hey, this is someone's just kind of giving directions, and you know? It
depends. Okay, so some sets have no script, and it's all ad lib, or it's more gonzo, where it's just straight up action, with no real intro. And then some scripts you'll get like a couple weeks before so that you can study. Okay. And you know, so it's a wide variety. And then sometimes you'll get a script early, and then you'll get to set and it'll be completely different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, kind of just go off limb and kind of. And how long does it? What's the typical the time length that you spend in filming? Like, is it 20 minutes? Is it a couple hours? Is it you changing camera? Put it again? Like, how's the process work? Because it's like everything gets, you know, obviously when you make a Hollywood movie, it's an hour and a half, right? But they film for 18 months, right? So, you know, there's a lot of time and a lot of back time that goes into it, and a lot of adjustments and angles and lighting and all this stuff that no one ever sees. And a lot of time, and I know actors, Ryan, you can agree, you spend a lot of time standing around just not doing much because they're trying to adjust stuff. You know what I mean?
It totally depends. Because I've been on sets where I did a 3-girl scene, and we showed up and we were all ready to go. We did makeup, everything, everybody's ready. And then the crew realized that the set was completely wrong for the scene that we were supposed to be doing. So then we had to wait for 4 hours while they changed the set.
Oh yeah. So I mean. And
then I think we were on set for like 14 hours that day.
How many times do you masturbate? Because then you think they're ready and they're not, and you gotta.
I thought we were ready to go. We all ended up napping, laying flat on our backs with our makeup faces.
Yeah. I can just picture everyone in ropes at the craft service table. Just, someone's grabbing a bagel. The other one's, just to stay away from the fried food.
A lot of places don't have a craft services table.
Oh, that sounds.
You bring your own stuff or you starve.
Are you guys in a union? Is there a union, or is it kind of just freelance? How does that work?
There's the APAG union, Adult Performers Actors Guild, I think. Okay. But it's not like I don't pay dues or anything. It's just there, and I don't quite know how it works. But there is that. So
there's because I know like when you're in the actors union, there's like certain things that have to be on set in order to qualify. Like you have to have this, the act. So like I didn't know if you guys have to have a certain room or have to have this, or kind of.
Not really. I've been on all kinds of sets. There's some sets where it's like it's super cool and it's like extra, where there's like, oh well, there's drinks and stuff in the kitchen. Like I actually work with my partner, and we have a studio. And we have a model house. And so when people come in to shoot with us, they can stay at the model house by themselves. It's a full house with like a king size bed and a mattress pad, so they're not sleeping on a mattress that's for porn. And like a fully stocked fridge and kitchen and coffee and all kinds of stuff. And so there's places like that. And then there's places where it's like you show up and you're like, am I gonna get murdered today?
Am I a snuff film? Like a snuff film.
I was like if you negotiated your pay before, and let's say like how you described in the situation where it's taking longer than they actually anticipated, is there like a new negotiation, like as far as like, or you just pretty much have to you're kind of there for the day, like almost all the time. There's the shortest time I've spent on set is about 2 to 3 hours. Okay. And usually those are scenes where I do my own makeup, I show up, they're ready to go, we shoot, we're done. There's not much of a script. So there's that. And then there's the scenes where like maybe either there's like some craziness happening and people aren't prepared and there's some like weird technical thing or something and you're staying there all day. Or you might stay there all day because it's something like super high quality specific. And so you're refilming different lines over and over again. You're changing the script. You're kind of working with the director and saying like, well, this feels more natural. Does this fit? And like, okay, well, let's do that take one more time. I didn't feel super confident. Like a couple days ago, I did my very first crying scene. So there was a whole big script. I can't give away too much, but at one point my character thinks that her girlfriend has died. And so she's like crying. So I had to cry for like half an hour to get all the shots.
Yeah.
And I really was crying. So it was very exhausting.
It seems like a dark
really fun.
It sounds like kind of like, I mean, I'm sure people are into anything, but like, people, here's the scene. This girl finds her girlfriend dies.
Oh my God. Just wait till I can't tell too much, but it ends up being a happy ending. So nobody's dead and it's a happy ending.
That's good.
So,
do you want to take advantage of like, mainstream opportunities? Because I know like I see a lot of adult film stars in actual feature films. Is that something you hope to do in the future?
Totally. I love acting. It's really fun for me and I've loved doing it since I was in like middle school. So anytime I get a chance to act, I'm super down for it. And if any mainstream opportunities come across the table, then I'll snatch them up. So maybe.
What I got a question. What happens when a woman orgasms? Obviously she can just orgasm again and again, but like what happens if a guy orgasms in a scene too early? I'm sure that must happen.
I've had that happen. One of my first scenes that happened.
Oh God.
So what happens?
So here's what happened is I guess my dirty talk game is pretty good. Um, so we were in doggy, and he had to like, and he was brand new and I was brand new and I didn't know and he didn't know what to do, even though like they had talked to him like, hey, if this happens, this is what you do. So what they want you to do is to like pull out and finish. I don't know what I can say because you said be careful.
Oh, yeah, I mean, whatever. You can say, listen.
Oh, okay.
You can say whatever you want.
18
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, great.
You can.
Haha, fuck everyone.
Stunt cock.
Zinger bird.
Yeah. Okay, great. See?
Zinger,
Okay,
Zinger
so
bird might be it. That the guy who owns
Is it?
what the guy should do is pull out and come and make it look really good. And then what we can do is wait for him to be able to get hard again, and we finish the in-between scenes.
Yeah, you can
but
edit.
what this guy did was not that.
Mm.
And what he did was he yelled, cut! And he pulled out and he grabbed his dick really hard to try to stop it. And he came on my feet.
Now, some people are into that. So, I mean, that may not have been lost film, you know what I mean? But you could use that you could reroute that to another.
I know, right? It's be a good gag reel.
Everyone was so mad because apparently he had done that the day before too. And so they had had a long talk about what to do if you had to finish early. And so we had to wait an hour and a half for him to get hard again, and then for him to be able to come again to finish the scene. So that, and he was embarrassed. He's younger. I generally prefer older men because older men are less like embarrassed about things, like, and that just makes everything easier. The younger guys have their egos, and he had his ego and it was damaged, and so he like was in the bathroom by himself for an hour and a half and he wouldn't let me help or anything. Oh, wow. And then he came out and like wouldn't talk to me, and I'm like, I didn't know. That's
like the first time me and Adam hung out. Same thing happened. He was in the bathroom for an hour. He wouldn't talk. I was just that's why
that's why they need.
You guys worked through it.
We did. We were all 10 years.
And your sex life has never been better.
But see, that's why they need stunt cocks. Like, if he screwed up, right, have another guy come in who has a similar looking cock and don't show his face or body, and then have him finish the scene.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
you have Adam Scott and Ryan finish, because someone would be like, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this scene.
Well, part of the thing is, like, as a girl, I wouldn't like that. I would want to have one scene partner. If I'm getting a boy-girl rate, I'm fucking one person.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
So it's not like, I'm not going to be cool with it. I'm going to be like, hey, am I doing 2 boy-girls today, or am I doing 1? Because as similar as those cocks might seem, they're not the same, and they don't feel the same. So it's like, it could be like an upgrade or it could be like a downgrade, and I'm not going to gamble on that shit.
It's like the same with acting.
And the fans really can notice. It's amazing. The fans notice everything. So
Alex
I don't know how well.
Fans and stuff, you won your first 2 Spank Bank Awards. You know, how awesome was that?
That was awesome. I'm super happy about it.
Hand Job Heroine of the Year.
Did you give a speech for that?
You know, I didn't prepare a speech. I didn't. I won a Cammy Award for Best Crossover Star too. That one I was more prepared for. This one came completely out of the blue. But I do give really good hand jobs. So. What's
the trophy look for that? You know what I mean? I could just picture like just a giant hand.
I don't know, but they said they're sending me one. I wasn't expecting any kind of a trophy or anything, but apparently they're sending one. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, please share it with us, because I am dying to know what they actually use for a symbolic for that award. It's pretty impressive. I mean,
did you see the Pornhub awards? They were really interesting. They were like they were some kind of a molecule.
Okay.
But I can't remember what it was.
No, so what's the big award ceremony they have? Is it the Adult Film Award? They have like the big, like, is it
the AVN?
Yes. Have you been to one? Like, is that what you got the award for that? Or is it?
No.
Okay.
AVN is totally different. There's all kinds of different like awards and stuff, and they're not really connected to each other.
I see.
I haven't won an AVN, but I've been nominated for a few from last year. So hopefully I'll be able to work enough this year to be nominated in January again. We'll see.
I've never actually witnessed, I've never ever been to one, but I've never seen one. I'm just always curious what the acceptance speeches are like for those things.
Yes.
It's like, you know, I gotta say it was a great day.
You're all different.
Good. You know, I was
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
happy. We had a nice finish. Everything was great. We're gonna do this again soon. So see us next year. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, it's like,
Yeah,
Arty,
usually,
mom and dad.
usually girls will thank their agents and their, you know, if their family's supportive or whatever they might.
Yeah.
I know there were a few girls that I know that their parents were there at AVN
Wow.
this past time, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not open with my family that much about it. My brother knows, my aunt knows, and my cousin knows.
Yeah.
My grandma knew, but
What'd she think?
so she was super about it. She
Yeah.
was like, "Are you happy? Okay,
Yeah.
great."
It's a good grandma.
So
You know, that's a good grandma right there.
she's pretty chill, yeah.
Do you feel like you could stay this kind of low key kind of lifestyle and still do this, or do you think at some point, you know, it's going to be an issue, you know, down the line where someone will like you be out to dinner with someone and all of a sudden the wait is like, hey, I know you from somewhere, you know what I mean? Or
That's happened actually,
Okay.
which is fun. The only person, there's only like my mom. I don't think she would handle it super well.
Yeah.
But if she ever found out, I think I'd be able to handle it and explain like, hey, you know, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. I'm very happy. I'm successful, and you know, all you've ever wanted is for me to be happy, and I've achieved that, and I'm doing something that is making that possible. And I think that she would chill out and be fine, because that's what happened with my brother. My brother called me and he texted me and he's like, Alex Cole question mark.
Oh wow.
And I was like, what's that? And he goes, don't play dumb with me.
Don't tell me you
And
accidentally found you browsing, because that I would be scared
no,
if I ever did that. If I have, I mean, that would be the end of the world for me. I'd be like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
no, he didn't. Actually, one of our relatives had called him and been like, "Oh my God, someone stole Alex's photos and put them online. You need to tell her so she can get them off. Like maybe one of her exes was crazy."
Yeah.
And so he was like, "That doesn't sound right."
How often do you get recognized in public? Because, like, you know, I think like some adult film stars are actually like, you know, more famous than like mainstream celebrities and stuff, everything. Like, I probably would recognize and stuff you on the street, like, you know, probably before I would know like a lot of like mainstream actors or like rappers, and probably be more excited about that. So, how
Yeah.
often?
I can see that. And honestly, I get recognized a lot more often than I would expect. But I think part of it is because I always look the same. I don't really, I cam a lot. I've been doing this for like 6 years. I've been camming for like 5, and then I started mainstream porn in 2019. So ever since I started camming, I've been getting recognized, and I've always been open about living in Vegas. So people will come up to me at the grocery store or at the post office. But the crazy one lately, and I wish he had sent me the photo, but one of my fans was walking into the post office, and I was walking into the post office, and I was across the parking lot, and I had my full N95 mask on.
Yeah.
And he goes, Alex?
Oh,
And I was like, and I kind of like looked at him, and I was like, yeah. And he goes, I'm not trying to be weird, but hi. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, he's
And
following you. He was following
we talked and we took
Yeah.
a picture, and
signed
He
in.
I
didn't
was like,
spot
how
you from
the
across
fuck?
the way. He was following you. He didn't spot you from across the way. That's what he was trying to do, to try to make it look like. But he was probably following you there, Alex.
Telling you.
That's
I don't know. I don't think so.
Anything.
I get recognized at the post office a lot because I go there all the time, and people know my PO box address because people can send me my stuff. Like people can send like presents and also like stuff for me to sign, and then I mail it back and stuff.
Yeah.
So
you said your mother. Sorry, already good.
No, I was gonna say because you said you were at the post office a lot. I'm like, who's using mail? But it makes sense. You have a post office box. I was like, we just going to the post office to like hang out, like mailing a letter to your grandmother. Be like, hey, you know, I haven't seen you in a while. But yeah, sorry, Adam. You were going.
No, it's okay. No, Alex, you were saying that your mother doesn't know, and sorry, not to get this is too personal, but I'm just curious. Like, what does your mom think you do? You're like, oh, I had another day at the insurance office. Like what? Like what? I'm just curious. Like, what does she think you do? She's obviously able to support you.
She actually lives in another state. She moved back to where she's originally from. So I'm the only family member still living in Vegas.
Okay.
So she lives in another state, and she doesn't ask a lot of questions. Like my family's very much about privacy. So like she figures that if I want to tell her something, I will. And like I think there's probably some suspicion there. But I've also worked a lot of really nice jobs before this, so it's not crazy that I'm successful or anything. Like I've managed like restaurants and like print shops and stuff like that before. So she probably she knows I model because I started modeling when I was 21, And so she knows I model and stuff like that. So she knows that I do sexy stuff. She just doesn't quite know that I do porn.
It might turn into a don't ask, don't tell situation. Because as you
It
get
kinda
bigger,
is.
and as you said, people notice you. Maybe somebody in her state it might be only a matter of time before somebody says something to, oh, you know.
I've totally had people try to tell her and stuff. Like I had a guy I dated in high school kinda tried to tell her, and like a girl that I met while I was camming tried to tell her, but like there's not really a good way to contact her. She's kind of off the grid. She's very like anti-tech. So if you don't have her landline, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah. Which is probably a good thing. She won't be cruising on the internet and accidentally find you.
No, not really. I can't even really get her to use email with me. So
span. You know, like I hear a lot about like adult film stars having stalkers. Like, you know, what we were kind of talking about earlier. Is that something you've experienced?
Yeah, I have. I've had an interesting go of it. Sorry, computer noises.
Sound effects.
I've been getting like death threats since I very first started camming and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So like I've gotten hundreds, probably over 1,000 by now. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. I've had people like go into super detail. And it's not scary at all. It's just kind of like, okay. And I put it in a folder. Like, I'm just like, oh, that doesn't seem like a pleasant email. That can go over there.
Do you report the authorities at all? Do you call, send it to the police? Hey, listen, I'm being threatened.
The only time I did go to the authorities and it was a waste of time was there was a guy who was threatening to shoot up AVN, and he was threatening to kill people that were taking Ubers to AVN. Yep. And he mentioned me and my partner at the time by name because he was a failed performer that no one really wanted to work with because obviously he was nuts.
It wasn't the guy, the 21-year-old, the first time, was it? Because then you could really pinpoint him.
What's that?
It wasn't the guy from the story you were telling me about the first time, and how that stuff happened. He was in the bathroom for an hour.
Nope, not that one.
All right.
I never worked with this guy. He had asked to shoot with me and my partner at the time, and we had said like, no, we're not really working with other people right now.
Yeah.
And that was enough for him to be like, I hope I see Alex Cole at AVN. I have a present for her and all this kind of stuff, and talking about killing people and everything. So I took that and I went to the police, but they didn't give a shit, honestly. I stayed there. I was at the police station for a long time, and they just did not seem to care. And nothing happened, thankfully. But and then I have had stalkers. Like I had a guy that sent me thousands of emails about how we were meant to be together, and then he did show up at an event that I didn't publicize that I was going to. But thankfully, I don't really go to stuff like that by myself. So my partner at the time handled it, and I just booked it inside. And then I didn't have any problems with that guy again. But, it happens.
Jesus. That's some scary shit.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, I've had people send me messages and be like, I'm going to cut your throat because you're not worth a bullet, and like stuff like that. Crazy people. But
15% of the world, I believe, is fucked like that. Like, I believe there's like, 15 is a big number, and there's a lot of people, but I believe there's that many people that are fucked. And I think just technology by itself has just made it worse, because like a long time ago, someone would have to actually handwrite you a letter and figure out what your address was, or show up at your house and go through a Yellow Pages, and find all this information. Now you can just Google it and you can pretty much get an idea.
Yeah, I think people that do stuff like I do, like sex and stuff on the internet, which is such a taboo thing, I think we're like easy targets for people that need somebody to be mean to. Mm-hmm. And so I just ignore a lot of it, because if you don't feed it, they usually go away. Yeah. Because they're not getting a reaction. They're not getting any attention. So anytime that anybody's dealing with anything and I hear about it, my advice is always to be like, just don't talk to them. Like, you're getting a bunch of emails, don't respond, just delete it. Mm-hmm. Block the email. If they make another account, block it. Because if you don't feed it, they leave. They get bored. So it's just never been that much of a problem, but like it can be. So I hope that answered.
Is there any other downsides to being part of the adult film industry? Because I have heard stories and stuff, everything of like girls, having issues with banking, and stuff, everything, like sometimes and stuff, bank accounts being like shut down and stuff, everything of stuff like that. Can you think of any other downsides that you experienced?
Personally, there was only one thing, and it was when I was buying my house. I talked to the first lender I talked to. did not want to work with me because of what I did. And I was just camming at the time. But he gave me a whole lecture over the phone about how I was immoral and going to hell and stuff. And I just called my realtor and I was like, hey, so that lender's not going to work because this. And she stopped using him altogether. And we found another lender and I bought the house and everything was fine. So it's not, I think I'm a little protected living in Vegas because Vegas people don't really give a fuck. They're like, I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. Let's just live our lives and not bother each other.
That's fucked up. I mean, it's like saying it's discrimination right there. I mean, your W-2 speak for it all. You have an X amount of money you make a year. This is what you're looking to borrow. That should have nothing to do with how you get that. It's not like you're a mobster, right? It's not like you're working for the mob. Right. You have like, listen, my W-2 says I make this much, but I really make this much. It's an unmoral situation.
I pay all my taxes. Ouch. No, I do. It hurts. But my whole thing is like I totally could have like gone after that guy for discrimination, but I don't want to give him any of my money or my time. No. It's just like, okay, well then I guess you're not gonna work with my realtor anymore.
Shit runs downhill and always gets to the bottom, so it doesn't even matter. So what it is.
Discrimination and stuff, everything, the adult film industry has been under a lot of intense scrutiny because of situations that have been going on in the world, like the George Floyd situation, who had links to the adult film industry. What are your thoughts about that?
About which part?
There's a lot of things like and stuff, everything. There's certain girls like who have like something to say about like there being extra rates for interracial scenes.
Yeah, see, I've never done that, so it just doesn't like I've never had an IR rate. I think an IR rate doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I do have a big dick rate. So, because I'm a small girl, I can't take a giant penis and then work the next day. I have a flat rate for boy girl, and then if it's a giant penis, I probably will just say no. But if it's something that I super want to do or somebody I super want to work with, I might ask for a little more, and then I'll get it or I don't, and then it's my decision if I want to work with that person. But usually I'll only ask for more if I know for a fact I'm going to work with this person and I am not going to be able to work the next day.
What would you consider this too big? Like, what?
It's too big. Is there like
if I can't get it in without tearing a little, then
God. Jesus.
So, I mean, I've worked with like Xander Corvus is pretty big. I've worked with Louis Smalls. He's pretty big. I've worked with Tommy Gunn is pretty big.
Is it like an amusement park where you have like the little thing like you must be this tall to ride this ride?
I don't give a shit about height, but
no, I'm saying for what you're talking about, like for that.
It's kind of a I know it when I see it kind of thing. Because like I said, me and most girls and most guys, we look up who we're getting booked with. So my agent will call me and say, or text me. He likes texting because then there's a thing I can read. If I forget anything, I can look back through the text and be like, oh, he said this.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow I'm working with Alex Mack, and I've never worked with Alex Mack before. So he texted me and was like, hey, boy, girl, tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Alex Mack for Naughty America. And I was like, okay. And so I went and I looked up Alex Mack and I looked up his scenes, and I just looked to see, like, is he super rough? Is he like, does he seem like a cool dude? And then is his dick ginormous? And he passed, so I'm going.
I feel like if you Googled Alex Mack, you might get a lot of 90s Nickelodeon sitcoms that might pop up.
Right? No, you have to look up the name, XXX, and then dick.
There you go. No confusion, so you don't get confused,
Yeah, that speeds up the process. If you look up like Ramon Nomar XXX dick, then it'll pop right up, and then you can see.
I'm sure. Well,
so basically, if it's bigger than my wrist, it's probably not happening. And I have a relatively small wrist.
Can you talk a little bit about the new scene you came out today with Dribble Trouble with Lucas Frost?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a long ass day. So that was one of the ones where it was kind of like a lot to do. So we had to do a whole lot of like, okay, so we're going to go over here and we're going to shoot this part of the intro. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to do a voiceover. And then we're going to do photos out here by the fountain. And then Lucas had to get knocked into the pool. So we had to plan around that. And like there were a whole lot of elements. So by the time we got to the sex part, we were both exhausted and he was freezing because he had to fall in the pool. And so he's a trooper though. He's a true professional and I love working with him. So it was a really good day.
I'm flipping through a Q&A here you did a while back, and it says, you said, I personally love foot play. Now, yeah. I'm always fascinated with people with foot stuff because I don't understand it. I mean, to each their own, like I always say, but like I find feet, like your foot is wrapped in a sock all day. It sweats in there, and it is the last thing I want near any of my.
You don't go on a jog and then pull it right out and stick it in my mouth. I mean, some people love that. Some people want you to walk around in the backyard in the dirt with your bare feet and then come in. And
I'm sure.
Animals.
But I'm more of a clean feet person.
What is it about it? Like, what is it about feet like that? I'm not even judging you. I'm just curious. Like, I'm
yeah. This is a no judgment zone.
Yeah.
So,
it's like Planet Fitness, no judgment free zone.
Yeah, judgment free zone.
I don't know why it's hard to hear y'all today. I have the volume turned all the way up. But yeah, no, for me, I like having my feet played with because it's very sensitive. Like I can feel it in my pussy when somebody's licking my toes the right way. Like,
really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
It's like a throbbing feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And
Never heard
so
that.
I like it for that, for me. And then I just think certain people's feet are like super pretty. And especially girls, like girls have very dainty feminine feet. And especially girls with like longer toes where they're more like fingery. I don't know. That's my thing. And I like the kind of sensuality of like, I usually clean their feet before. So it's like you're washing somebody's feet. That's a very intimate, like caregiving kind of act. And then just like their reactions are amazing. So like a lot of girls haven't had their feet played with before and maybe they're like sensitive about their feet. And so I like making them feel like super beautiful. And then with guys, it's kind of the same thing where guys usually think their feet are gross, but a lot of guys have really nice feet. So I like to get them and like sit them down and be like, I'm gonna wash your feet.
Nice.
And I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And usually like they look at you like this the whole time.
Yeah.
So I like the pleasure giving aspect, and then I know how good it feels.
No, I've gotten a pedicure before. Was it manicure, pedicure?
I think everyone should get pedicures.
I got one before. I gotta tell you, 16 years ago, an ex-girlfriend talked me into getting a pedicure. It blew my mind. There was this little Asian lady. She was really getting into it, and it felt great. I haven't since, and I don't know why I haven't. I feel like it should be something I do weekly because I feel like it's very like, you know, she's dipping you in the warm water and everything, and scrubbing. You know, it's
good for your health. It's good for your health. You got to take care of your feet. Too many people don't take care of their feet, and you can really mess yourself up with that. You need your feet, you know.
Arches are important. You need your arches. Yeah.
Well, and usually if you go get a pedicure, they're giving you a foot massage. Like it can really help, especially if you do a job where you're on your feet a lot. And then I have a guy friend who has diabetes, and he's overweight, and he has a lot of problems with his feet. And also, like, if he gets like some kind of a lesion or anything on his feet, he needs to know like right away.
Oh, yeah.
So, because you know you can lose your foot. So he goes and gets very frequent pedicures to take care of his feet.
Was that difficult during the pandemic, not being able to go get your nails done and things and your hair and stuff and everything like that?
No, I just looked like a little gremlin for a while. Like I had roots out to here. And my nails were not done. Like I ended up clipping all my nails off. I had acrylics and I waited for them to grow out enough, and then I soaked them in nail solution for like 2 hours before they would finally like come off. And now I'm not going back to acrylics. These are my real nails. So now I'm just painting them. So I'm saving a lot of money now, which is nice. I think that's the main thing with the pandemic is I'm spending a lot less money on beautification type things because now I know how to do a lot of it myself.
There you go.
Is it required now like to get tested for like COVID-19?
Yes. So at first we were doing 24-hour testing mandatory, now it's 48-hour mandatory testing because the tests don't come back quickly enough.
Okay.
So I went and got tested today. And actually my scene isn't tomorrow, it's the next day. So I went and got tested today. My results will probably be back between noon and 4 tomorrow, which would be too late to shoot a scene. So, because a lot of scenes start at 9 or at like 1 or 2. So
in Massachusetts, I've gotten tested twice. You literally drive up, they test you, and you find out in 25 minutes. Like, I don't know why all these other states aren't using the same methods. I mean, it's all the same test. It's a swab. They put it into a machine. You get. It's unbelievable that no one can get on the same page about this, because for 2 days.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
In 25 minutes from Massachusetts, we're the same country. It's the same test. It makes no sense.
You're lucky, Arty. I heard different states like that. Yeah, like
I wish
I don't.
Streamlined, but
yeah, that's crazy.
We're not very cohesive right now.
I really like that you do cosplay, like, and your work as Wonder Woman. Like, you know, is that something that you're into? You're into comic book characters?
I fucking love it so much. And my partner does a lot of superhero porn, so I have a wide array of costumes that I have access to, so I'm spoiled as fuck right now. So yeah, the Wonder Woman cosplay was his video, actually. I did a boy girl dressed as Wonder Woman, and I was fucked by 2 Greek gods. It was super fun. But yeah, no, I love any opportunity I get to dress up and play a character, especially one that I grew up with. Like, I've played Raven from Teen Titans. We made up a character called Starfire that's a superhero. We completely made her up. We did a 3-movie series. Each movie's about an hour and a half long. And with fight scenes, throat lifts, everything. I really, really like cosplay. It's definitely one of my favorite things to do.
There you go.
Do you go to like comic book conventions and stuff like that, or?
I've been to like anime conventions, and I've been to like sex expo type conventions, but I've been to a couple comic book conventions here in town, but nothing like huge. So that's on the list of things to do in the future.
So Alex, every show we play this thing called Wheel of Gossip. And what happens is, what I do is I go on TMZ and I put a bunch of things onto this wheel. It's on my phone. And then we spin it. And then whatever topic comes up, we give our 2 cents about it. If it sucks, it'll last 30 seconds. If it's good, it lasts the rest of the show. Are you interested in playing the Wheel of Gossip?
We can try it. Like I said, I'm not super pop culture savvy, so I'll try not to ruin your game.
All right, well, let's spin the wheel right here. Let's spin the Wheel of Gossip. Last week went pretty well. Let's see how, this is only the 2nd week we're trying it. All right, well, it's a free app, so I got a lot of advertisements. So I got to wait till the advertisement goes. This is great. And then, let's see. Okay. Kanye and Meek Mill. Have you heard this story? Are you familiar? You know Kanye West, right?
Yes.
And you know he's married to Kim Kardashian, right?
Yes.
And you know who Kim Kardashian is, obviously. Everyone knows, right?
Yes.
So do you know who Meek Mill is?
Kind of.
So there is a rumor going around, and Ryan, you probably know a little bit more about this than I, because you're tuned into this, that during was it a workshop or an interview, that Kim decided she was going to have sex with Meek Mill. Did I get that right?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I believe they met at a hotel. Kanye alleges on Twitter that Kim met Meek Mill at a hotel to discuss criminal justice reform, and he felt that it was inappropriate, and that's why he wants to divorce her. That's what he put on Twitter.
Oh, so it had nothing to do with sex. I thought he.
I think it's implied, like you mean, and some everything, that it was in poor taste. I don't know if they had sex or not. But that's what he put forth in the tweet, that they met at a hotel to discuss criminal justice reform, and that's why he's divorcing her, because he felt it was inappropriate.
According to TMZ, today, Meek Mill has addressed the elephant in the room, namely Kanye's implication that Kim cheated on him by sleeping with Meek during a prison reform meeting. And he's calling BS loud and clear. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think again, I'm not super in tune, but I think I did see Kim's statement that she released, I think today or yesterday or something like that, about Kanye's mental health. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know if y'all watch Philip DeFranco, but I'm a big fan. And he addressed kind of the Kanye stuff from lately. And I agree with him, where we need to be careful talking about Kanye because he's bipolar and he's having an episode.
Yep.
And instead of, I feel like a lot of people are making fun of him and stuff.
No, he's definitely troubled. I feel like this guy has, and
he needs help.
It's a pattern because this happens all the time, and he's an artist. He's very smart. He's very
an artist. He's a genius.
Yep.
But he's got a problem and he needs help, and they need privacy. And I don't know. Maybe that whole thing is kind of part of his bipolar episode.
It could be, or it could be just maybe, you know, Kim doesn't help the situation. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions here. Maybe she doesn't help a situation. Maybe she capitalizes on it. Maybe she uses it as an avenue to more publicity for herself. I mean, you never know. You know, what's their relationship like? No one knows. All we know is.
I know.
The thing is, you can speculate all day long about people's like personal lives and stuff. I guess I'm less likely to do that, mostly because I've been speculated about and stuff, and it never really feels good to have people be like, oh, I bet she's really like this, like that
really
kind of stuff, and have everything examined. So I mean, if she and the guy are saying that they were meeting to talk about police reform, that's probably what I would assume they were doing. And if her husband's in the middle of a bipolar episode and is, you know, having a little bit of a breakdown, he's probably suspicious and having a whole lot of thoughts that aren't super based in reality.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I feel like it's obvious that Kanye probably needs more of the right kind of people in his life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he has those conditions, but did anybody stop him when he held a rally, when he ran for presidency and said, Kanye, like maybe...
How much can you do though with a grown person?
That's the other problem too, you know what I mean? Like,
he's
not.
That's kind of what she said in her statement that I did read. I did read the statement today, and it was really it kind of like I felt it. You know, it hit pretty solidly.
Yeah.
Like that he's an adult. He's not a minor. I can't force him to stay inside. Like we just kind of need some time to deal with this and get through it, and hopefully he'll come out on the other side okay.
And he's in a bad situation too, because someone who has that much fame and that much money, for a person that doesn't in that situation, could easily be isolated and, you know, approached, you know. But for someone with an ego, obviously, because people know who he is and people respect, and it's obviously people are torn on what his opinion of him is. But it's a lot harder to seek help because you don't want to look, you know, you don't want to feel weak.
You're going to be judged no matter what you do. And so it's a lot more stressful, and it's a lot more stressful for the people in his life, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what I would do if I had issues like that and I was having an episode. It wouldn't be very easy to keep it private, you know? And that sounds like it would be a lot more stressful and just make the whole thing a lot worse.
Sounds like a nightmare, to be honest with you. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like it's fun or, you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, you know, like about Dave Chappelle, remember when he everyone was saying that he was crazy and he had this interview on Inside the Actors Studio and stuff. The worst thing that you could do to a person is call them crazy because it is dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
I do, like, you know, think that, like, you know, what Kanye has to say is important. And like, you know, sometimes and stuff, everything, it can come off as necessarily crazy, but like, you know, he is a genius. He's created like some classic music and stuff, everything. So like, I always love him for that. And like, you know, as far as like the Kardashians, I just hope, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, his marriage works out. You know what I mean? And so his marriage is difficult anyway. I can understand by like a man being upset about his wife meeting another rapper to discuss criminal justice reform and stuff. There's nothing crazy about being upset. Maybe because like he has such a high level of fame, we're not used to seeing celebrities act like that. But that's a real reaction. It's human.
Yeah, I mean, every relationship has its rules, and if rules are broken, then people are allowed to get upset. I would never call him crazy. It just does seem like he's going through something.
It's definitely going through an episode here. All right.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call somebody with a mental disorder or a mental disease crazy, because that's not productive. No. I actually, I used to work with children with special needs back when I was in college, and so it's very like it's like close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful and stuff and everything.
But
so Ryan, the next thing on the list here that just popped up on the wheel is your beef on Twitter today. We got to talk about this. You were blowing up my Twitter feed all day long today over one of your articles, and tell us a little bit about this, because obviously it's getting some traction.
Friend of Kanye West, you know, ironically, Talib Kweli, you know, our good friend Talib Kweli, you know, he believes, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, doesn't think very much of my journalism. He doesn't think much of me as a person. He's labeled me a white supremacist. And like, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything in that effort, like, you know, I've searched, like, you know, as a background as an investigative journalist, I've searched, like, you know, for dirt on him. There was allegations and stuff that he sexually assaulted a woman, and I found that woman. This is an article and stuff, everything that has been up, like, you know what I'm saying, for a number of years, that he has declared false. I found her and I interviewed her about being sexually assaulted by him, and that is why he's upset and attacking me. So.
It's part of being in the public eye, right there. You know, you cannot always control if you. That's always the thing too. When people become famous and, you know, reality stars and everything, when you put yourself out there, it's almost like posting something on Facebook, right? But having the caption afterwards saying, "I don't want any comments," or "I don't want any 2 cents," right? Like, because that's kind of productive. That doesn't make any sense because you're putting something out there, but you don't want anyone to talk about it. So basically, what you found, or what he, you know, his beef with you is that things were exposed, things are out there, he's in the public eye, but now he doesn't want anyone to see that part, though. You know, you only want to see the good parts, right? So I mean, it's
yeah, I mean, that's just like, you know, what it is. He's also like found like negative information about me as well online and stuff, everything, that I've been arrested previously for domestic violence, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything. And like, you know what I mean, and stuff, that's quite embarrassing. He has more of a larger platform, so he has millions of followers, so he can put that out to like the millions of followers. And like, you know, as far as like, it seems like if anything I come with this factual, but like, you know what I mean, the information I'm putting out is factual, and like, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything. Like, honestly, I just wish he would leave me alone. Yeah. But like, there's a number of articles written about him and stuff, everything, like the past couple of days by other sites and stuff, everything, like accusing him of like, you know, harassing like women and things of that nature and stuff, everything. But to be honest and stuff, I just would be left alone, like, you know what I'm saying, women stick to what I do best, you know. So
just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. All right, and the last thing I got to bring up here that's come up in the list is Jada Smith. Holy cow, that situation, her and Will. Alex, are you familiar with the Smith household and what's going on out there in Hollywood?
Are we talking
like Will Smith and Jada? Are you familiar with their situation that has been exposed to the public eye that no one asked about? They just felt the need to tell us about it.
That was weird.
Didn't the guy she cheated with say something? Wasn't that what started it?
Yeah, Ryan, you know the story pretty well, right? The whole
So like basically August Alsina went on Angela Yee's talk show, and he revealed that he had a relationship and stuff with Jada Pinkett Smith. And Jada Pinkett Smith went on the Red Table Talk, which is her talk show with Will Smith, and she basically acknowledged that the story was true, and she referred to it as an entanglement.
Interesting.
You know,
the weird thing about that is not the discussion that they had, but the fact that Will actually agreed to go on television to talk about it. Like, I can see that being a normal discussion because it happened like in a therapist's office, but to be like, all right, I'll go on television in front of a national audience and we can talk about this. That's what seemed actually more bizarre to me than anything else.
Well, I think the reason was because like everyone had their own speculations of what happened, and they wanted to like take the opportunity
set the record straight. Yeah, because it's hard when people are speculating about you, and I'm sure he was getting made fun of pretty hardcore. And, you know, it's better to just kind of get it out there and be like, hey, this is what happened, and we're fine. So it's not really any of your personal business. So now you know.
Marriage is a difficult thing, man. Like, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything. Like, so like I you know, I don't judge those people, man. I have a lot of respect for Will Smith and stuff, everything. Like after, you know, seeing like, you know, how he handled this situation and stuff, everything is amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm totally a Will Smith fan. And I think he handled it just fine. I'm not a fan of cheating. I've been cheated on. I've never cheated on anyone.
Well, yeah, I don't think they were cheating. Like, they had agreed to take like a mutual break, like where they were.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And whatnot. Yeah, we don't. No one will ever know. How do we know? You know, it's like
he was like, you can go do your own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing, and she ended up like, you know. But then I guess she realized she really wanted to make her marriage work.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I mean, maybe it would be better and stuff, everything, to be out of your marriage and stuff, everything, before you play those type of games. You don't want to play those marriage games with people, I guess.
It's like that movie. that movie Hall Pass, right? You go out there and you figure out if it's actually, you know, it's not as easy as you thought it was back in the day. You know what I mean? And then it's like you realize, maybe I shouldn't be doing this kind of thing. You know, I don't know. And honestly, to God, listen, I like my actors to act. I like my comedians to make me laugh, and I like my singers and, you know, artists to perform. And, you know, and you know, Alex, I like you to do your thing and entertain us all. When it comes down to like their personal life, there's a group of people out there that really get obsessed with people's personal lives. So they have no business in order to be, you know, intermingling with them. Who knows if Jada and Will had a situation, a relationship where it was open, and what do you want to do? Who knows? We don't know. But what is it any of our business at the end of the day? You know what I mean? I don't really care.
It's not.
You know, it's do your thing, be happy. As long as you're happy and as long as no one's getting killed or, you know, violated or assaulted, everyone should be just living in this happy world and just do your
Well, I think the thing is, like, what I've learned and stuff, everything, regardless, if you have an opinion on anything, like, people are going, or you're doing anything in the public spectrum, people are going to have an opinion and want to, like, voice their opinion on that, especially in the age of social media. Like, you know, as far as like writing articles and stuff, everything, even on a site like the Packy and stuff, everything, people are going to have an opinion one way or the other. And like, everything, like, you know, accuse me of being, like, you know, setting forth a particular agenda or whatever it is, you know. So like, I think that's just like, if you're putting yourself out there in any aspect, you know, choosing to do adult films, like some people and stuff, everything, are very much against, you know, adult films. So like, you know, when you choose to do stuff like that, you know, people are gonna have their opinion. What do you feel about people and stuff, everything, who like want to get rid of the adult film industry? There's a number of like conservatives who are like, you know, they want to ban the adult film industry and stuff and make it illegal.
Good luck. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but it's not like, it doesn't actually impact my day to day. Like, it's not something I really think about because it's not something that is like likely to happen. I think that adult has a lot of issues and it has a lot of regulation issues because it is very like nuanced. You know, you're signing a contract to get paid to have sex on camera with a person, and it's not a date. It's not like an afternoon that you're just like there to enjoy yourself. Like, and I think there's a whole lot of like stuff that could happen to make the adult industry a little bit like better. But no matter what, it's going to be a complex situation, and you really need to have your head on straight before you get into it. But I don't see it going anywhere. I think it's changed a lot during this whole COVID thing. A lot of performers are making their own content, which is where I started. So it hasn't changed a lot for me. But a lot of people have realized that you can make a whole lot of money by just being at home and filming your own stuff.
Yeah.
So even if like California's regulations on the adult industry are pretty strict and pretty rough, it makes it hard to work for a lot of people, but Vegas is fine and people can make their own content and stuff like that. So I don't know, I don't really care what people think about what I do, because the whole reason that I get paid what I get paid, which is still less than what people got paid in the beginning, a whole lot less. But I only get paid what I get paid because there's a stigma. If there wasn't a stigma, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
So I don't care about the stigma. I don't care about the hate mail. I don't care about like people not liking what I do. It's like, okay, sweetie, that's cute, bye. It's like getting yelled at by a person at the gas station while I'm getting gas. Like if I'm in a rougher area or something, and someone's like, you're a bitch. I'm like, have a good day.
Do you ever find yourself getting attacked on social media?
Sure. I just got attacked for my car today, which was really funny. Somebody was making fun of the type of car that I have. And I was like, that's cute. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just not, it rolls right off.
People suck. It's like, you know, people get, you know, I would say the four of us are probably somewhat normal, you know, and something pisses us off. And the first thing you could do is just go out there and air your grievances. But then you sit there because we're you know, pretty normal. We go, why bother? Why are we going to put something out there? Because then it's like a effect, right? But there's some people.
There's so much more you can do with your time than respond to hateful people. Like, it's like, why would you, life is short. Why would you waste a second of it talking to people that you don't give a fuck about?
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
It's like, you could get hit by a truck tomorrow and I wouldn't notice. So like, why do I give a fuck what you think? Like,
Opinions are
Your
impactful.
thoughts don't impact my life, so I don't care.
Opinions are like
So-
assholes. Everyone has them and they stink, and that's the way it is. And it's like,
Sure.
you're not going to make everyone happy. And
Yeah.
I learned that.
I don't expect anyone to accept me or to sign off on my lifestyle or anything like that. I've never had like a normal lifestyle anyway. So it's just like, whatever. Like, what? Am I supposed to give a shit? Like, who even are you? I don't know you.
Have you ever had disagreements with like fellow adult film stars though? Like, because
Sure.
that's before happened where like they'll be attacking each other on Twitter. That's happened to you before?
Not a whole lot. Like I said, there was a cam girl that I met when I very first started that like she had a crush on the guy I was dating, so she tried to dox me and like put out my personal information. But like that's the worst one that I've had. Other than that, again, it just doesn't really matter because even if you don't get along with other performers, it doesn't really impact your work. Like people have clashing personalities, people have their own issues, people have like interpersonal stuff like, oh, well, I was dating that guy and you're friends with him, so I can't be friends with you anymore. And like stuff like that. It's very middle school. And it doesn't actually matter. No. It's very much the same thing. It's like, that's cute, sweetie. I really don't care. I guess we're not going to work together, but there's 3,000 other bitches waiting. So
there you go.
Like,
when we
like it's a very independent industry where you don't actually have to be friends with everybody or anything. Like it's like there's plenty of people to work with, there's plenty of companies. If you don't like somebody, you don't ever even have to see them. So it doesn't
matter. Yeah.
It's not like you're working in an office and you have to see like Susan at her desk every day and you hate her like because she steals your lunch or something. Like it's like, oh, like you're kind of a bitch. Okay, well I guess you're on my no list and we just won't work together. Like so
I feel like with Adam, I gotta see him every morning. I gotta walk right by his desk every morning.
I know.
You love it. Shut up.
You got that office romance going.
You live in a fucked up world when there's people that hate Tom Hanks. And how can you hate Tom Hanks? But there's haters. There's Tom Hanks haters out there. So if there's someone out there that hates Tom Hanks, you're never gonna make everyone happy. So you just gotta sit there. You gotta wake up in the morning. And the way I look at life is, if I can make 75% of the people that I encounter happy, it's a good day. I mean, so that if you're talking to 4 people, if you can make 3 of them entertained and you only piss off 1, that's a good day right there.
I mean,
that's a win.
I'm very much I'm going to be nice. I don't care how you're going to be. I'm going to be nice. Yeah. And you can take it or leave it. And I'm going to smile at people on the street. I'm going to talk to strangers. Like I'm going to be me. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Keep walking. Like
that's a great perspective.
Yeah.
So
I don't need anyone's approval.
We are approaching the end of the show. So at this point, we want anything you want to plug, all your websites, and how do people find you? How do people go and learn more about Alex Cole if they want to?
I mean, Google's great. It's ALEXCOAL. But I also put all my links in one easy to find spot. So it's allmylinks.com/ALEXXXCOAL, and you'll find everything I do there. So you don't have to like run around and try to find all my shit. It's just in a list. So I recommend that to anybody who has multiple sites that they want to direct people to. It's allmylinks.com and it's super easy. Your fans can tip you through there. And I think it's like a 15 or 20% payout.
Oh, sweet.
Or a 15 or 20% charge, and then the rest is the payout. So you're making like 80%, 85% on tips and stuff. Damn. And then you have all your like social media and all your links right there. So if I have a new video out, I'll put a link to it right there. It works really well.
Allmylinks.com. There you go.
Yeah.
Check it out. Ryan, what are you plugging these days other than the Packy? Anything? You get any adventures going on?
Oh, nothing. Like I, recommend everybody, going over to my YouTube channel and checking out the interview and stuff. Everything I recently did with the girl who is accusing Talib Kweli of sexual assault. I have another interview coming up in another days with another girl that he sexually assaulted. So check out that.
Damn. All right, Adam the Mallet, what you get going on?
Well, you can check out my YouTube channel, my movie channel, The Whirlwind Potato on YouTube. And I'm on a bit of a hiatus right now, but just trying to get through the summer and relax and whatever. But I'm probably going to be hitting that and the Packy really hard with articles and videos at the end of probably, I'm aiming for end of August. So probably end of August, things are really going to go supernova.
Sounds good. Packy.com, the ID84 show on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify. Listen to everywhere you can. Alex, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Nice to meet you, Alex.
Had a
Thank
great
you,
Nice to
Alex.
meet you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully, I'll have you on again sometime.
I'd love that. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe.
Stay safe out in Vegas, and everyone out there on Facebook land, on iTunes. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.